I will now introduce our first speaker for the day. I'm very excited to introduce you to Sylvia Dohnert. She is the Executive Director for the Compete Caribbean Partnership Facility. So Sylvia, thank you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Annie. So I'm going to share my screen, sorry. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give you a little introduction of what we're doing in these 2 days, who are the partners behind it, and a brief overview of the 2 days. Okay, so can you all see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So welcome to the Blockchain Symposium, which we are holding virtually today and tomorrow. It's an event where we will discuss 7 challenges that we've identified for the Caribbean region, as well as 40 companies that are pitching possible solutions to those challenges. The event has been organized by Compete Caribbean, IDB Labs, Blockchain, the Caribbean Blockchain Alliance, and the Srinath Ramphal Center at the University of the West Indies. At the end of this presentation, I'll tell you a little bit more about the partners involved in organizing this initiative. So the Blockchain Symposium is part of a wider initiative called the Blockchain Innovation Initiative, which seeks to stimulate the adaptation and scaling up of blockchain technology in the Caribbean. Why did we undertake this blockchain innovation initiative at all? For 3 reasons. First of all, because we see blockchain as a very potent solution to help solve some of the Caribbean region's most complex problems. Second, because policymakers in the region have manifested an interest in experimenting with blockchain technology. The most salient examples of this have been the announcement of the Central Bank of the Bahamas and of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank of experimenting or launching in the near future digital currency. And thirdly, because the region already has a budding hub of blockchain companies. Some of them are domestic, some of them are foreign companies that have arrived and settled in the region. So the Blockchain Innovation Initiative really consists of 4 stages, and we are in the 3rd stage, which is a blockchain symposium. So the first stage of this initiative was a call for problems that we launched throughout the region last year, and we were seeking the input of both public and private stakeholders for them to describe what were really complex problems that could be solved through this technology. This call closed December 2019, and we categorized all the submissions in 7 problems that I will describe later. Then, following these problems, we launched a call for solutions this year, which closed March 2020, for companies, both regional companies and foreign companies, that could provide a solution to these problems. And the 40 pitches that you will hear today and tomorrow are companies that submitted applications during the call for solutions. Third is the event that we're holding today and tomorrow, where we will have the problem owners and the companies that are pitching. We will have the ability for them to interact. We'll hear the pitches from the companies, but then we'll have question and answer sessions with the problem owners at the end of the pitches. And finally, there will be a call for proposals, which will be launched later on this month. Will provide technical assistance for problem owners, and it could be the problem owners that are present in this event or others, to work with solutions providers on a project that implements a solution here in the Caribbean. And stay tuned for that. Annie Bertrand, at the end of tomorrow, will give you more details about the call for proposals. Okay, so what are the 7 challenges that we identified, and who are the problem owners? So these challenges fall into the following categories. The first is digital transactions and money, including central bank digital currency, mobile wallet, online payments, especially in the context of community-based tourism in the Caribbean, And the problem owners are the central banks, the Caribbean Tourism Organization, the Dominica Cooperative Societies League, and we believe that many banks in the region, commercial banks, are interested in this, and we have invited them to the event. Then there's the issue of post-disaster insurance claim processing in a region that's so highly susceptible to natural disasters such as this one. That problem was presented by the Climate Resilience Execution Agency for Dominica, CREED, but it's of interest to large insurance companies operating in the Caribbean as well. Then there's a problem of traceability in supply chains. We got a number of applications there, both from enterprises that were involved in the cocoa sector, as well as the honey sector, but most supply chains in the Caribbean have this traceability problem. Then there's a problem of digital identity, which was submitted by the Barbados Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology. The problem of monetization of intellectual property, which is not only a problem in the Caribbean, it's across the world. That was submitted by the Association of Caribbean Copyright Society. Then the problem of asset registration, land, property, vehicles. We got submissions from the Ministry of Information and Technology in St. Kitts, but also from the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology in Barbados. Finally, the problem of customs, which was submitted by the Ministry of Trade and Industry in Trinidad and Tobago. So the objectives of this symposium is not only to hear the pitches, but mainly to share knowledge, to be able to educate the stakeholders on the possibilities of blockchain technology and how it can solve some of these pressing problems. For companies, this is a message to you. You are not competing in this event. Rather, you're helping to educate stakeholders so that you can stimulate demand for products like yours. The call for proposals will be launched later, and your ability to participate will really hinge on being able to connect with those problem owners and propose a project together. So I'll give you a brief overview of the agenda. I'm not going to go into every single item. Today, April 8th, we are going to delve into the problem of digital identity and of the problem of digital money and digital transactions. Today's day will be preceded by a presentation by Marcos Allende, IT specialist of IDB Blockchain, on what is blockchain, how it has evolved in recent years, and why should we care about this technology at all. Then we have excellent moderators for the two problems. El Brandegard, co-founder of Uport, is a moderator for digital identity, and Fernando Paris and Carlos Lopez from IO Builders are the moderators for digital transactions and money. There's a very special panel taking place on midday, and I encourage you not to miss it. It's a lunchtime discussion with Sybil Welsh from the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank and Bobby Chen from the Central Bank of the Bahamas. As I said, both of those banks have announced intentions of launching digital currency, and the moderator will be Laura Gilles, IDB economist. Tomorrow, again, the day will be started by Marcos Allende talking to us about blockchain as a public good to facilitate digital collaboration among private and public entities. And in the morning, we will delve on the two problems of traceability and intellectual property. The moderator for traceability is Alejandro Escobar, operations specialist at the IDB. And for intellectual property, it's Kayla Grant, who is also a specialist at the Competitiveness, Technology and Innovation Division of the IDB. In the afternoon, we will delve into the problems of asset registry, customs, and insurance claims processing. Asset registry in land, property, and vehicle, that session will be moderated by Christy Powell, technical advisor for the government of the Bahamas, digital transformation. Customs will be moderated by Sandra Corucera, who is a specialist in the Integration and Trade Division of the IDB. Insurance claim processing will be moderated by Brent Barnett, who's economic growth lead at CREED. And then the whole event will be closed by Annie Bertrand, who's a productivity and innovation coordinator of Compete Caribbean, the main intellectual architect of this whole initiative and the motor behind the initiative. And she will be telling you about the next steps. So when the call for proposals will be launched, what are the main characteristics, as well as a call for research papers that we will be launching in collaboration with the Sridhar Rampal Center at the University of the West Indies. What are the rules for pitching for you companies? Each pitch is 10 minutes and we will be ruthless. That's the only way that we can really manage this event. After your pitch, you will be automatically entered into Zoom's waiting room, where we ask you to wait until the question and answer session. You can watch the session through Facebook live stream, meanwhile, until you're back into the question and answer session. The only time all the companies are together is during the question and answer session. And the moderators will give every company an opportunity to answer questions. If you have burning comments, you're encouraged to use the raise your hand feature in Zoom. You find it by pressing on the participants option in Zoom, okay? So who are the partners behind this event? Compete Caribbean, which is a program that I am very proud to lead. It's a multi-donor facility which is focused on stimulating a dynamic private sector in the Caribbean. It is financed by the IDB, by the United Kingdom's Department for International Development, by the Caribbean Development Bank, and by the Government of Canada. We provide technical assistance for business climate reforms, cluster initiatives, private sector innovation, and technology adoption in the public and private sectors. And we support projects across 13 Caribbean countries. The IDB Lab and LabChain. The IDB Lab is the innovation laboratory of the IDB Group. It seeks to catalyze innovation for inclusion in Latin America and the Caribbean. They're very important here because they can support early stage companies from ideation all the way up to scale. Support means here like concrete financing, not only technical assistance, which is what Compete Caribbean provides. LabChain is a regional program of the IDB Lab, and it's a program that wants to accelerate the development of the blockchain ecosystem, seeking to maximize the social impact potential that this technology has to offer. The Caribbean Blockchain Alliance is an NGO which is dedicated to promoting the adoption of blockchain in the Caribbean region. They advocate for the use of blockchain technology in both the public and private sectors. They collaborate with regulators to build out a framework for cryptocurrency in each country and across the region. And they educate software developers within the region so that they can also participate in building their own blockchain projects. Finally, the Sridhar Rampal Center for International Trade, Law, Policy and Services of the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus in Barbados is a Caribbean premier trade policy training, research and outreach institution. It is best known for its Masters in International Trade Policy, which is now in its 16th cohort, but it also runs several short courses. So thank you for coming to this event. We think that it will be very, very exciting. And please follow us through the Facebook live stream link below. Thank you.